Hi, it's really great to be here with you today at the University College Birmingham. I hope you're having a great day. My name's Claire Brumby. I'm a high performance business coach. I'm also a dragon slayer, a channel swimmer and a best-selling author. But I'm here today to help inspire you on your journey, on where you're going to go in your next chapter and how you're going to write your story. So I'm going to share some things with you that have changed me, that have challenged me, that have helped me grow, and that have also made me believe that absolutely anything is possible if we've got enough nerve, if we're willing to take the chances, if we're willing to make choices, and if we're willing to display courage in life and really go for what we want to achieve. So I'm going to take you back to the 13th of August 2005. Now I'm fully aware that most of you would only been 3 or 4 in 2005. Indeed, my middle daughter was. She was only 4. So it's 2005, 13th of August, and my children are ages 1, 4 and 7. And I'm working in the hospitality industry as a hotel manager. Now on this particular day, out of nowhere, I just get the most intense, crushing chest pains. And I think that I'm having a heart attack. But it turns out it wasn't a heart attack. It was a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in your lung. So I'm an extremely lucky survivor of this life-threatening illness. So from there on, my recovery process started. Now, that recovery took circa 18 months in total. And in that time, I was having this sort of awakening, like I really saw in myself this huge desire to impact more, to change my life, to really embrace who I could be in life. Because look, we're not here forever. Like I always say, choose life. Whatever you do, make sure you're happy, because we're not here forever. And that was the awakening that I had, and that was the burning desire that came through me as I was recovering from this blood clot. I also had to do some work on myself physically, because the medication that I was prescribed was completely disagreeing with my body. My hair was coming out, my joints were aching. So I turned to nutrition and I just really educated myself on what I could eat, what I should be eating to reverse the amount of medication that I needed. And it worked, and I'm medication free to this day. The thing is though, when you've got more of an awareness of what you're capable of, when you've got more awareness of what you actually want to do in life, you can't go back. So it's a blessing and a curse. So it's a blessing in the fact that I think I'm truly lucky to have got plucked off the hamster wheel of life. You know, a lot of people can stay on that hamster wheel for all of their life and not really be given the opportunity or take the chance to stand back and look at what they want to achieve. So I believe I was a lucky one and I got plucked off that hamster wheel. But then it's a curse in the fact that you have a responsibility to really soul search what you believe is your mission and what is your impact in life. So this newfound zest for nutrition and healthy eating took me and my husband to this point where we were thinking, right, okay, what do we want to do with our lives now? What is it we want to do? And we thought of a few different bits and pieces, and we settled on that we wanted to launch a food brand. I had the newfound knowledge and zest around nutrition from my illness. John was from a farming background, so he knew a little bit about food from that way. We had no idea about the retail world. We had no idea about food manufacture. We weren't from foodie backgrounds. But nevertheless, we decided that's what we wanted to do. And so I really wanted it to be a healthy food, given where I'd already come from, and given the fact at this time our kids were still young, and certainly from a snacking perspective, there was nothing in the marketplace other than sort of like Monster Munch, Wotsits and hula hoops. So I was really wanting to bring something healthy to market that kids could eat as well. So this took us down this path of healthy snacking. Now, if you go back all of these years, the healthy snacking category just didn't exist. It wasn't there. So we were ahead of the time, we were ahead of the curve with that. So by this time, it's 2010. We've made our decision. We want to launch a healthy product. We've decided that it's going to be a snack. and we've researched all different manner of things. We took a market stall for years. If anybody is thinking of launching a retail product, I strongly advise that you stand a market stall for an element of time, because what you learn about your category, about the consumer, about what people are looking for, is just priceless. So a market stall is the way to go if you're ever thinking about that avenue in life. So we did all this research and we decided that we wanted to launch some vegetable crisps. Now, at the time, the only vegetable crisps on the market were full of acrylamide, they were full of fat, they were full of sugar, full of salt. So the crisps we developed and launched with Scrubby's vegetable crisps, they were lower acrylamide, or zero acrylamide, lower fat, lower sugar, lower salt, and pretty groundbreaking for healthy snacking, given that it didn't exist. So we were ahead of the curve, and that's what we launched. So we're now in 2012. We've been pitching for a good couple of years to raise finance to launch, and the reason it was such a hard road to get the finance is because when I had my blood clot and couldn't work for a while, I literally had no upper body strength, and John had to quit his work as well because he had to look after the kids. So we stupidly lived on credit cards. So I advise you to not do that. But you only know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. So that's what we did. And so we got ourselves into a circa £30,000 worth of debt. So it was very hard to get any finance for us to get launched. But we eventually did, and we got launched via a £50,000 loan from a local chamber. So it's now 2012 and we've got launched. And one of our first kind of like major listings was Harrods down in London. And so I'm standing there in Harrods sampling, and it all feels pretty surreal, I will admit, because Harrods was one place that I'd done research in the research days. I'd gone down there and looked at all the amazing food on the shelves, and I was like dreaming that one day, you know, I might have my brand and my product on the shelf. And then there I am stood in Harrods sampling the crisps. So that was a real strange but amazing feeling. So the penny starts dropping slowly but surely that the money that we've launched with is going to run out really quick, and we have to get some really creative marketing going if we are going to build this brand up and get it, you know, where it needs to be. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have come across a term called guerrilla marketing. So if you're doing marketing or media, you'll come across this. But essentially what it is, it's a low-cost way to get your brand and to get your product out there. So it's using your creativity, it's using your imagination, it's low cost, there's generally hardly any budget attached to it. And you can go as far as your imagination will take you. So, and guerrilla marketing had come onto my radar I've been very, very, I want to say lucky, but I also believe that you create your own luck. Like, I really believe if you keep putting the work in, putting the hard yards in, and if you keep creating the opportunities, look, then life will really meet you halfway. And I think this is what it did with me when, like, all throughout the journey, I've met a number of celebrities. I've been invited to St James's Palace twice. Do you know what? Like, things have happened along the journey through sheer tenacity, through sheer resilience, through sheer determination, through sheer vision, through not giving up and not giving in. And this is how we need to be. This is why I believe that absolutely anything is possible if we've got enough nerve. Like, if we've got the nerve to speak to the person, or if we've got the nerve to apply for whatever it is we want to go for, or if we've got the nerve to just go for it. So guerrilla marketing came onto my radar by somebody I met, and he gave me this nugget of advice, and he said to me, be a positive, disruptive influence. And I was like, right, okay. And do you know what? I carried that with me through the entire journey. Every time I hit a roadblock, that may have been through finance, it may have been through production, it could have been like any number of challenges you face along the way. I was thinking, right, be a positive, disruptive influencer. How can I change this? How can I positively impact this for myself? And guerrilla marketing was one thing that I did. Now, I had quite a lot of wins with guerrilla marketing along the way, but I think one of the biggest ones, which I'll share with you now, is, so back in 2012, in August, Chris Evans, the DJ, had launched his festivals called Carfest, and we were lucky enough to get along to be in the exhibition in the Britain's Best Pavilion, which is a big food tent. And I was on a mission. I thought, right, okay, we need awareness for this brand and we don't have any money, so it's time to get creative. So all my creativity just culminated in getting a picture of Chris Evans with a packet of our crisps with my husband and I. And that really was the money shot. And that was guerrilla marketing in action. And from that point on, that photograph went local and the papers, it went national, and then things then mushroomed and grew from there. So we were then really getting our name on the map, and we were really making some traction. So by this time it's August 2012, we're rocking and rolling and we're doing everything. We're winning awards. We won Cool Brand a couple of times. We won Great Taste Award. We were getting our name out there. We got onto radio, we got onto TV, we did everything. We were really, really going for it. And this is what I'm saying. This is where, like I say to people, whatever you do, do it with all you've got, because passion is contagious. And it truly is. Like, if you do something half-baked, then you're going to get a half-baked result. If you are not fully behind what you're doing, then why would anybody else get fully behind what you're doing? Like, nothing comes to you on a plate. Like, it's all, you create everything that you're going to gain. You just create it. You keep doing the work. You keep holding the vision. You keep keeping on to whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and it will come good. Like I always say, life meets you halfway. Like, life will really start beating you down at some points, and it's a case of, and this is the test. This is when you get really tested. This is where it's like, well, how bad do you want it? How much work are you willing to do for it? How much time, effort, energy are you willing to put into this? And it's all about taking those risks. It's all about having courage. It's all about having the discipline. It's all about keeping on and keeping on. So we got this money shot from Chris Evans, which was amazing. And we're doing the work in the business. We're winning awards. We're gaining all this publicity. And it's still not enough. It's still not enough to keep the cash flow coming through and to keep... like, it's just ages until you can get some listings sometimes. So in the retail world, it's called a listing. So you may contact a buyer at a retailer, which may have been Waitrose or Ocado or Sainsbury's, and it can take an age. And obviously, the longer things take, the longer it takes for you to get the cash flow coming in. So we ended up in a perfect storm of not enough cash coming in and gaining listings, and then not having enough cash to service all of the costs for the manufacturing and everything that comes with everything. So we had this perfect negative storm arriving. So I was thinking, right, okay, how can we get out of this? How can we grow the business and get some investment? Now, we're now in 2014, and in 2014, Dragon's Den was like one of the biggest shows on TV. I mean, it's big now, but in 2014, if you were an entrepreneur and if you had a product, it was one of the main things, you know, one of the main shows that people went for. So I was like, right, okay, let's go on Dragon's Den and kill two birds with one stone. We'll get awareness for the brand and we'll raise cash for the business. So that's what we did. So it's now the 1st of April, 2014. And we're in Manchester and we're filming Dragon's Den. Now, we were in the den for 2 hours, and the dragons at the time were Duncan Bannatyne, Peter Jones, Piers Linney, Deborah Meaden and Kelly Hopham. And we're straight in the den, straight off the bat. Duncan offers half of the money. We'd gone in pitching for £75,000 in return for 15% equity. So Duncan came in half the money for 7.5% equity. The other dragons, barring Peter Jones, quickly started to make their departure from the negotiations, and we were just down to Peter Jones, and he was saying he didn't know if he wanted to go with his head or his heart, and you know, it went on for what seemed like forever. And Peter Jones said to me, he said, you've got a dream, you've got a business, but you're broke. And I was like, But the thing is, I was more broke emotionally and mentally than I was financially. Yes, we had problems in the business, and yes, it was a last chance saloon to get some investment. But behind the scenes, I'd taken a second job to keep everything floating, and my kids were at such pivotal points in their school life, like going to secondary, starting secondary, doing SATs, starting primary. And as you need your mum at these important, you need your mum all the time, but you need your mum at these important times in your life. So I was really, really torn every which way. So yeah, I was broke, but I was broke in more ways than what Peter had meant. Anyway, we walked away from the den without any money, without the investment. And the rules of the den are, if you don't get the full investment, you walk away with nothing. Now, it took me about 2 weeks to stop crying, because when we came out of the den, I just did not know how we were going to keep going. I just was done. I was just done. I was done. I just thought, I can't keep on keeping on now. But whenever anything like that has hit me in my life, post having the blood clot in 2005, I just say to myself, look, you survive that, you can survive absolutely anything. And I go back to this, choose life. Whatever you do, make sure you're happy, because we're not here forever. So I've held this philosophy when things have hit me to think, do you know what? If I can survive that, I can survive this. So picked myself off, dusted myself down. And if you're going through hell, you just keep going. And then, like I've said to you previously, life meets you halfway. Things can just come up. And if you keep on keeping on and you're willing to do the work and you're willing to go the hard yards, life will meet you halfway. It can't not. It just does. And this is what happened after the den. So we got investment from somewhere else. We got the Waitrose listing over the line. We were at Carfest again in the August 2014, and Dragon's Den aired on the TV as well. So everything just created this amazing serendipitous storm of good fortune, and it was fabulous. So yes, we were back in business and we were rocking and rolling. The thing is though, we'd taken some investors into the business, and up until that point, we'd been a true family business, like my husband and I and our 3 kids, up and down the country, having great fun, going to festivals, going to markets, really having a great time. And when we took the investors into the business, it really changed the culture. And I wasn't happy anymore. I really wasn't happy. And remember what I said about, surviving the blood clot and being happy, and we're not here forever. Like, if I'm not happy in life now, and this is what you must be happy. You will not achieve if you're not happy. You've got to do what makes your heart sing, what makes you happy. And so I wasn't happy anymore. So my husband and I, we decided to exit the brand. It was a tough decision, but it was the best decision, because remember what I've said, if you're passionate, you go all in, and your passion is contagious. But I also say to people, any road will do if you don't know where you're going, and you may end up in the wrong place with the wrong business in your hands. And I also say that if you're not having fun, then you're on the wrong ride and you need to get off and find a new one. And so I wasn't having fun anymore. So we decided to exit the brand, and the brand is doing amazingly well now. It's thriving, it's in 21 different countries, and it's the brand that we wanted it to be. It's just, it didn't need us anymore. So then I'm thinking, right, okay, what can I do? What's going to make me happy and make my heart sing? So I thought, right, okay, I really had always wanted to be a coach of some description, or to be, in an advisory role for people, because it just feels like it's in my DNA. So I thought, right, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into food consultancy, and I'm going to write a book all about my journey. So that's what I did. I wrote the book, and it's now available on Amazon and everywhere else, and it's a bestseller. So that happened, which was amazing. But again, it didn't happen by chance. It happens by hard work. It happens through having a vision. It happens through making that decision to go all in and to make it big and make it good. And that's what I decided to do. Along with that, I then decided that I was going to swim the channel in a relay team. And this is all about living outside of your comfort zones. This is what I'm talking about. It's about getting out of your own way, getting out of comfort zones, believing that anything is possible if you've got the nerve. So I've swum the channel in the relay team. I launched my book and it's become a bestseller. And now I've repositioned myself to move on from just food businesses to work as a high performance coach for any business. And I just believe that we all need to adopt this. If it's not working, change it. If you're not happy, change it. But go all in. Go all in anything that you decide to do. So I hope by sharing my ups and downs and twists and turns and complete roller coaster with you, that it's maybe inspired you to think about what you want to. You're an absolute perfect, amazing juncture in your life right now. And I really hope you go and grab it with both hands. And I really hope that you choose to live your life to the full and to go all in with your life and take on board that what I've said, in that anything is truly possible if you've got enough nerve. So I hope that's been of interest to you. I hope you've taken some little nugget away, in the same way that I met people along my journey that left me with little nuggets that positively inspired me to be at the place where I am in my life now. And so I'll leave it there, and I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I wish you all the luck in the world in what you go on to do next.